Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the National Timely Action Hour podcast. This is the show where we talk about everything from comic books to video games and everything in between. My name is Aiden, and I hope that you're doing well today. This is Season 4, Episode 19, and in this episode I want to discuss who should succeed DC Comics' Trinity. So, for those of you who are unaware, DC Comics' big three superheroes are Superman, Batman, and Wonder Woman, aka the Trinity. And they're also on the Mount Rushmore of superheroes, and the fourth person being Spider-Man. But in terms of successors, for Batman and Wonder Woman, for me personally, it is pretty clear who should be the successor of that role after Bruce Wayne and Diana Prince either die or retire. But for Superman, it is a little bit more difficult because there are a few candidates who have strong cases in my book. So without any further ado, let's get into this. So for Superman, like I said, there are a few different candidates that one could consider. And for me, those are Supergirl, aka Kara Zor-El, aka Linda Lee Danvers, aka Kara Danvers, and I'm sure she's got another secret identity out there somewhere. The next person is Power Girl, aka Kara Zor-El, different spelling, aka Karen Starr. Or the third option is Superboy, aka John Kent. Now, this is a bit difficult because John Kent, the son of Clark Kent and Lois Lane, has become Superman within the last few years when his father was trapped on an alien world. But, there is a strong case that one could make for Supergirl and her Earth 2 counterpart, Power Girl. Now, one could say, oh, well, his son should become Superman because the name is Superman. Yeah, but I'm talking about just generally succeeding that role. So, the role of head honcho in the DC universe could be, the Nepo baby, John Kent. I mean, that's how, that's how certain roles like King and Prince and etc., other royal titles are passed down, but, Superman doesn't play that way. So I'm just saying you could make a strong case for his son because A, he's already filled the role before, B, he is ingrained with Superman's morality and philosophy because he was raised by Superman, and then you could say that he has like a genetic predisposition to be Superman because he's the biological offspring of the original Superman. There are a bunch of different ways that you can go about, justifying why John should be the next Superman, and I would agree with the majority of those points. But, on the other hand, Superman's cousin, Kara, could quite as easily fill that space because she's got more experience than John, both versions. Earth 1 and Earth 2. She's got, she's straight up she's a full-blooded Kryptonian because John is half Kryptonian, half human because his mother is Lois Lane, a normal woman. So, Kara is stronger than John because of her pure-blooded Kryptonian biology and her longer exposure to Earth's yellow sun because of that, because she's older than him and wiser and more experienced at being a hero, etc., etc. Also, you could say that, since Kara is, depending on the continuity, older than Superman. She has more knowledge and is wiser, but Superman is still physically more powerful than Kara. But despite what the New 52 would have you believe, which is one of the many reasons why I did not like the New 52, and that's what prompted me to quit reading comics, or modern comics, that is. But I have been picking up some stories in the last few years that have been good, like the revival of World's Finest, and some of the Superman comics where John took over. Those were pretty good. And what else? What else was it? Oh yeah, Batman 3 Jokers. That was really good. But I've mainly been getting older comics and comics from other publishers like Image and Titan Comics and Dark Horse, because the big two have really disappointed me in the last 15 years. But anyway, tangent aside, but yeah, I could just as easily say that Power Girl or Supergirl could be a better replacement for Superman because of all of those points that I brought up. So I'm just going to say it's a three-way tie. I know that's a cop-out, but it's very difficult because the more I talk about it, the more I start to think, oh, maybe, this is a better option, or maybe this is a better option, or, we can be like King Solomon, cut it down the middle. But, yeah, moving on to Batman. I mean, it's a pretty clear, crystal clear, choice that Dick Grayson, a.k.a. the first Robin, a.k.a. the second Nightwing, would become the next Batman. A, he's done it before. B, he's Bruce Wayne's most trusted ally. C, he is a great hero in his own right. D, he has better emotional maturity than Bruce, and meaning he's dedicated to helping people and fighting crime. But yeah, so he's more mature than Bruce ever could hope to be, but that's also because Bruce raised Dick for a lot of his life. Dick was raised by his biological parents from when he was a baby until he was 8 years old, when they were murdered. But then, Bruce raised him the rest of the way. So, Bruce taught him how to be a good man. He taught him, all these various skills, not only, in terms of being Robin, the Boy Wonder, but also about life and, history and all that stuff. So, I would have to say that Dick Grayson is, the best option to take over the mantle of Batman because, in the 90s, during the Prodigal story arc, he became Batman for the first time. Then in the late 2000s, after Final Crisis, he became Batman again. Then the New 52 blew that shit up. But, yeah, Dick is the best choice, without a doubt. Then finally for Wonder Woman, again, in my mind it's pretty clear. Donna Troy, aka Wonder Girl, aka Troya, should take over after Diana either retires or is killed. But again, pretty clear reasons, similar to Nightwing, because, disregarding, I don't want to get into Donna's complicated history right now. That's an episode in and of itself. But, she is Diana's younger sister, and she has the same philosophy, the same training, yada, yada, yada. So, and also, she has experience being Wonder Woman's sidekick and then being a member of the Teen Titans. And, she's just the best choice, without a doubt. Again, don't really want to get into her complicated backstory, but, all signs point to her being the best successor to Diana Prince as Wonder Woman. Anyway, with that all being said, once again, my name is Aiden. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the National Timely Action Hour podcast. If you enjoyed this episode and are interested in this sort of content, please subscribe and share it with your friends if they're interested in this sort of content. I post this on Spotify.com and on YouTube.com, so please leave a comment on either website telling me your thoughts on this episode and who you think is the best successor for these characters. And in the YouTube version, I'll leave a link to my main YouTube channel, the National Timely Action Hour, on YouTube.com. So please subscribe there, share that with your friends, and I'll also leave a link to my social media profile so you can stay up to date about the podcast and my YouTube channel and send me a message. And I'll also leave a link to my Patreon page and merch store, so if you'd like to support this show financially, I'd greatly appreciate that. And you get a slew of benefits like early access to podcast episodes and videos and exclusive episodes. And you can vote on exclusive polls and read my original writing projects and a bunch of other great benefits. Anyway, thank you so much for listening, and I sincerely hope that you have a wonderful day. Bye.